All right, hello, this is our recorded video on a masterclass using acrylic paints, which do stain, so get parental permission if you do this at home. What you guys in my class are gonna do is squeeze out a little bit, about a pea-sized amount of black, white, and a color of your choice. You're gonna squeeze it out on a piece of magazine, which works as a disposable palette. Disposable meaning when you're done, you throw it out, right? All right, next I'm gonna have you guys pick what your tools are. If we're gonna stain the lines for your cone, what type of paintbrush do you need? A fat or a skinny brush? Skinny. You're gonna need a thin brush, a skinny brush to stay in the lines for your tone cone, and a thick fat brush. So get the right tools for doing the Van Gogh swirl, which we are going to end with looking at Vincent Van Gogh's Starry Night, okay? So we're gonna end with you doing that. I'm gonna just use your table. All right, so guys, we're gonna start with the tone cone. All right, you all have it in front of you.
Yes.
And this is graded tomorrow. What color do I start with where the light hits? Of my colors, I'm gonna start with white, the lightest color, mix a little bit of it with the blue, and I'm gonna start on the side of the cone with my white with blue. Okay, I'm gonna add a little more white, right? Do you see how dark that came?
Yes.
I'm gonna add a little more white, and remember where the light hits, that's the lightest side. Okay, so I got my lightest side. All right, what am I gonna add on there? I'm gonna add a little bit of the color I've chosen, which is blue with white, and I'm gonna show you how I'm using my palette. This is a palette, and I'm gonna mix white with a little bit of blue, and I'm making a lighter tone. Do you see the shade right there? Just a little bit of a light blue. And I'm gonna slowly, and now I'm teaching you to blend or tone, go a little bit lighter. Now I'm going back and forth like this. Can you guys do that with your hand, back and forth? That's called feathering. Can you say feathering?
Feathering.
Feathering is a form of blending. The other one, when I go like this, is called what in tone? Circulization. We're gonna use both of those in blending. Now I'm gonna add a little more blue with a little more white, and I'm gonna slowly, guys, slowly go darker, okay? Now my tone is getting a little bit dimensional by I'm going back and forth blending or feathering, or I could do circulization, going in circles around the tone. All right, do you see it slowly getting darker? Glance up, you see it slowly getting darker? Okay, if I wanna go to the darkest side, what color do I add next?
Black.
I am gonna add black. And so I'm gonna start it here on my palette so I don't mess up my art, and I'm gonna bring a little bit of black into my color I mixed, and I'm gonna make a shade. You see that shade? It's not all the way black yet. It's more of a grayish color, okay? Now I'm gonna slowly, and this is the tone training that we need, and it's called the technical skill of tone, where you slowly go from dark to light or light to dark to bring dimension in your work, and it's the A. And students who got scholarships in college, free college, when I taught at Hope International School, they had to show some tone, which in England as well, it's called the technical skill, and worldwide pretty much for the A, because it is showing dark to light. Do you guys see that stripe of dark? How am I gonna get that dark stripe blended into my light color? What would you guys do? I would do blending with the skinny brush or circulization. What do you guys like doing? The circulization? You can practice on the circulization tone. Well, then I'm gonna wipe off the black with my brush on the side of the page and go in little circles around the contour or curve of my cone. What do you guys think? Is it looking dimensional?
I cannot see.
Yeah. See? Is it looking a little bit dimensional yet?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, now where's the darkest dark? Under the cone. You're brilliant. So if the light hits here, the darkest dark is under the cone. And now I'm gonna add a little bit of that white, light blue, and I'm gonna slowly get lighter. Okay, now I'm gonna come around to work with you guys. I'm gonna add even some more white, or I want you guys to learn with acrylics, you can also add more water to your brush and just blend it out with water like you did with watercolors. And now I'm gonna go back and forth, blending or feathering for it to get lighter from darker. Okay, now I'm gonna spend a little longer on this blending from dark to light with you guys as I come around and finish it. But I wanted to end this video lesson really quickly, showing you how we can get to the Van Gogh swirl with the same exact acrylics that I did that tone cone with. You ready? All right, so your other side of your 2-page layout, when you're done with that, Mrs. Smith is gonna come around, and I'm going to have you glance over at the real Van Gogh that's on our wall and start with black for the hills below, And when I come around to all of you, I'm gonna say, just get your brush and get the colors in your palette and start doing your hills. Can you do this, Trent?
Yes.
You can do that, right? Can you do this, Christopher? Can you just go like this and do hills? Everyone can do that. Really easy, right? All right, so you're gonna do the black hills, just so that they're down there, and that way your starry night sky will look so much more vibrant and beautiful. All right, next, guess what Mrs. Smith's gonna do? I'm gonna come around with thick acrylic. This is where it's gonna get messy. And I'm gonna have you look at the Van Gogh swirl, and I'm gonna squeeze it out in a swirl pattern. All right? Are you guys listening? If you're listening, I'm gonna let you be the first ones to get the paints if I see you guys are listening and you look like you're ready to do this next. Now I squeezed 3 different colors, and I'm gonna have these colors for you. Turquoise, dark blue, and white. And what I'm gonna do is wipe off my brush, and I try to teach you guys to always have tissues and water to clean your brush. And what you're gonna do is what Van Gogh did. You're going to grab your brush and bring it in a swirl pattern and go back. Shh, guys, I'm videotaping, and you guys see what I just did? Now I'm gonna get the swirl, look at the Van Gogh on the sky, and I'm gonna go around in the pattern in the way I want the wind to blow. And that's how Van Gogh showed movement in the sky, is by showing movement with unmixed colors where you can see how thick the paint is. I'm gonna turn it around and show you, but I wanted to show you how we're not blending and mixing it all up like soup, but you wanna keep all the lovely colors separate and unblended, okay? And you see how they're dripping right there? That's okay, because it's really thick. When you do it, you're gonna keep it flat. Yours won't be dripping, but it's unblended. And I'm gonna come around to each of you and show you how you can show movement in the sky by looking at the Van Gogh and going around the swirl the way you want the sky to go, okay? What I'm gonna end with this video lesson is showing the real Van Gogh. And then I'm gonna spend a little longer on my mountains making that look like a Van Gogh. When you're done, if you have messy stuff on your fingers, do not wipe it on your clothes. This is acrylic paint, it stains. I do not want your parents getting mad at me that we stained your clothes. So we are going to wash your hands in the sink, and we will end this lesson with the real Van Gogh right there. So everybody looking at the Van Gogh, are you ready to get started? Yes. All right.